Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my booktube channel, Pretty Little Bibliophile. And as you can see from the title, today's video is going to be about me and my thoughts on all of the celebrity poetry that I read recently, and boy do I have quite a few. So yeah, let's get started. So I listened to all of these as audiobooks on Storytel, and I do have to say that because of Storytel, my reading this month has been really great. Today is the 19th of April and I've read more than 30 books in April already, which is all due to Storytel. And I do have to say that if you haven't tried it out yet, you should definitely check it out. There is some amazing collections and I have quite the TBR plan for myself. I'll also leave a link down below via which you can get 90 days trial sort of thing for just rupees 375, which I think is great. So yeah, I have decided to break this video into 3 parts and tell you about how I felt about each of these 3 poetry collections. So yeah, I think I'm gonna first start with Lana Del Rey. Now, I really love Lana's songs. I think her songwriting, her lyrics, everything is just amazing, and coupled with that, her voice is really beautiful. But her poetry collection, which was basically Violet Bent Backwards Over the Grass, quite a huge name I have to say, was not exactly for me, I think, right? And I think this might have been also because of the audiobook experience that I had, because you know how Lana speaks, right? She has got this breathy quality, and especially in this poetry collection she uses that tone of voice to read her poems, recite her poems. But at the same time, there's background music going on with Jack Antonoff's music, which individually is quite good, but I think these two coupled together did not do well. As a reader, as a listener, I had to strain my ears to try and listen to what she was trying to say, because I couldn't catch her voice over the music. And no, that was just a big no for me, a deal breaker for me. I also think that Lana romanticizes a great deal of topics, and basically I think this poetry collection was an extension of her poetry, of her lyrics and all of that. So perhaps I would recommend you to maybe actually read the physical copy or the Kindle copy first rather than go for the audiobook, because I don't know, this audiobook was just not a good one, and you probably won't lose out on much if you don't listen to it. But if you are really intrigued and interested in Lana, then perhaps go for it. Otherwise, I personally could have done without it, although I do love her music, but this collection was just very unnecessary, I think. So overall, I think I'm gonna rate Lana's collection just a 2 out of 5 star, because this was just, I could have done without it. It was just completely unnecessary, I think. So next up, let's talk about Halsey's music, or rather her poetry. I would leave me if I could, and I honestly love Halsey's music and songwriting and everything, so I was not surprised when I decided that I really loved this collection as well. But in the beginning, after I was just done with Lana's poetry, I was like, am I going to read or listen to another such poetry collection which I will think is not worth it? But obviously I was not surprised in the regard that Halsey's poetry is just as good as her music. Her music, her songwriting is very raw, very powerful, and once again, like I just said, she brings it into her poetry as well. There are several poems that discuss mental health issues, and I think that they were done really well. And apart from that, also some elements, some feelings that she talks about, I think they're very universal, and it makes the collection so much more relatable. Also, as an audiobook, I think Halsey's collection was done in a much better way. You could hear her voice clearly, for starters, and the way she recites it is just very good and makes you feel it. You get goosebumps. Compared to Lana's, definitely Halsey's was much better. And I ended up rating Halsey's collection a whole 5 out of 5 stars, because I was just so in love with it. I listened to it multiple times. I still have the audiobook, so I will definitely go back to it again after some time. But yeah, definitely do pick this one up. I definitely recommend Halsey's collection. Lastly, let's talk about Lili's poetry, which and the collection is called Swimming Lessons. Now, I read it and she narrates it, by the way. I listened to it. All of these are audiobooks, by the way, even though I'm using the term reading. And although it was a good enough collection. It's very clear that this is a debut work, an amateur work, and that said, I do think that Lili is coming into her power as a good poet. This is a great start for her, I think, and the poems were good enough. Could have been better, but again, considering the fact that this is a debut work, I think she's started off on a good enough start. And you know, while she has got quite a good grip on language, how the way she writes, there's still a long way to go for her in terms of writing poetry. And in that, I think she has not yet mastered the art of poetry writing, you know? Alright, so my final verdict for Lili's poetry would be a 4 out of 5 stars. And you can definitely check it out. I think it's good enough, or better than Lana anyway. So right, let's do the final count and see who is better according to me. Once again, this is very subjective, so don't come after me. Alright, so in terms of language use, I think the best is Halsey. Firstly, she's just amazing with how she uses her language writing in terms of poetry and everything. And then secondly, I think in terms of language, after Halsey we have Lana, because obviously Lana's music and everything is good. So her poems were individually very good, but just the audiobook experience was just not good. And lastly, in terms of language use, we have Lili. So Halsey, Lana and Lili. And I think Lili is a debut author, so she does have a long way to go, but obviously I am very happy with my experience with Halsey's music, and I would definitely recommend you to pick it up. And in terms of the narrative style that these poets adopted for their audiobooks, I think the best was definitely Halsey. Halsey does it beautifully, and then I think I'm gonna praise Lili because her voice is just as calming and beautiful. I think she does it really well, the narration. And lastly, I have to put Lana, especially because of the bad combination of music and her breathing voice. The listener can't listen to anything basically. So yeah, Halsey, Lili and Lana in terms of their narration. So final verdict of all three works, I would definitely recommend you to pick up Halsey. It's a must read, I think, especially if you want to read more poetry. Definitely pick up Halsey. Then as for Lili, I am going to leave that on to you. If you want to pick up her work, you can definitely pick up her audiobook or her ebook, whatever it is you wish to. And I've also included the synopsis as slides in the previous bit of the video, so I hope that will help you. And lastly, in terms of Lana, I would say definitely pass on the audiobook. If you are interested, you can definitely read her, read her either a physical book or an ebook, whatever, but definitely a hard pass on the audiobook experience, because I mean, you've heard me talking about it for quite a bit in this video, so yeah. So that's it, guys. These are my thoughts on these three audiobook celebrity poetry that I recently listened to. And if you have listened or read them, definitely let me know what you think. And if you want me to make more such videos, because this is quite a new concept that I'm trying out, let me know. That said, this is the end of this video. I hope you continue showering your support and love on me. Don't forget to click on the thumbs up icon down below and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you soon. Take care. Peace out. Bye.